It's not just about talking and saying Happy Earth Day. It is about making the Mother Earth happy. So good morning to all of you. So I hope I'm audible, I am visible, and we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about certain things. What were we talking about? We were talking about the salinity in the oceans, the temperature in the oceans, and how it has played with the chemistry of the oceans, and what are its impact on the surrounding regions. Yes, कुछ बात किया था. Remember that? So any questions before I begin today's class? Any questions? So I've seen that video that I got hurt by seeing that many dwellers have been facing severe deformities by uranium effect, and the government even rehabilitate them. So yes, today morning, so all the students who are not attending the environment classes, information, what we were discussing today was somebody asked me a question about, or we were talking about nuclear energy and its renewability and sustainability. So somebody said that, the tribals are protesting. The tribals are protesting against the uranium mining in the Nalamala region. So my opinion is that if they are protesting, there is all the reason for them to protest. There is all the reason for them to protest because safeguards are very, very low. And then I gave them an example and I requested just have a look at what is happening in Jaduguda mines. So we saw that, and authorities have no answer to that. So if you've not seen that video that has been uploaded on the group, so please make sure. And if you are listening to me on recording, just go to internet and look at Jaduguda uranium mining on Earth Day. That's a very sad message. Get that? And governments all across 1966. So it is not just Congress government, non-Congress government, everything. Nobody is interested in that. Get that? So that is what I have been talking about, and I want to tell you this idea of Har Ghar nuclear may not work. Number one. Second thing is, as you would have seen in the video also, nuclear issues are not discussed in Parliament. They straight away come to the Prime Minister, PMO, directly PMO. So PMO is not a parliamentarian or a parliamentary plural body. It is not a parliamentary plural body. So it is definitely the office of the Prime Minister. There will be experts in that, no doubt about that. But when we have, like a plural body like Parliament, where there can be questioning, there is a greater amount of transparency. That may be missing. A case in point which I want to make is recent leak of, not recent, a couple of years ago, recent leak, I would call it because a couple of years भी कम नहीं होता है in nuclear. So release of heavy water from Katra power plant. The matter came in media. ज़्यादा media में उसे ला नहीं सकते आप matter को. You have to stop it at a point, and they did stop it. So वो सब PMO में जाता है, उसके आगे उसका कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Nothing else can happen. Do we get that? Nothing else can happen. So this is one very sad thing about it. कोई उस पर जवाबदेही नहीं होती है तो एक problem create हो सकती है. अब आप यही चीज ट्राइबल एरिया में जाना चाहते हैं. Even this Jaduguda mines we are talking about, Jharkhand is tribal. Now who's going to fight for their cause? Who's going to fight for their cause? And you saw how open mining and how like those draining ponds are being created. So that's a very, very sad state of affairs when we are talking about, and think about this happening in the developed world. Is it possible? Even their sacred places have drowned everything. So once I'm saying, once you give the charge to the government, you're giving a big charge. That is why we say bottom-up development is far more sustainable. Development with regeneration is where the people's opinion, people's goodwill, and people's concerns are taken into account. Governments at the end of the day would try to usurp as much power as possible. So people who haven't watched that video, that is there. बाकी कल जो answers submit हुए थे, people who had submitted answers, I think I had given feedback early in the morning also. 6 a.m. moment I woke up, I looked at the answers submitted, and morning तक मैंने feedback दिया. उसके बाद वाला people who submitted thereafter, I would not have seen that. Morning 6:15 तक I looked at that because then I have a morning class also, so I've not looked at others. So I hope you'll compare with others. काफी लोगों ने अच्छा काम किया, but to certain cases, say for example, Mega has done a good work. In certain other cases, I felt people were just putting what was discussed in the class through points. So I hope you will go beyond that. So let me read the comments. Purvi says, hi sir, thanks to give homework. Just because of that, I completed reading Savinder Singh, an academy book. NCRT, sir, literally homework is beneficial and giving confidence. Okay, good. See, Purvi, the homework is given to everyone, and I'm glad that you take it as something that is really going to make a difference to your planning. And thank you for being consistent and persistent with that, and not just like a person who's getting answers checked, as we had someone coming in, joining in the group for only that purpose. सर आपने मुझे सविन के लिए रिव्यू दिया है, मैंने पढ़ा, जो भी चीज आपने क्लास में बताई वही बुक में वर्ड टू वर्ड दिया है. सर इट इज इम्पॉसिबल दैट वर्ड टू वर्ड द बुक विल बी देयर. आई डिड नॉट यूज देयर वर्ड्स. So it cannot be word to word. Trust me, that vocabulary is needed. और आपको सविन सिंह इसलिए देखा because your notes were word to word. You had not put in anything. So please make sure you look at that. I have not looked at Savin Singh before taking that lecture. So how can my lecture be word to word Savin Singh? But yes, what you have written is word to word class. So I'm a bit confused with the relationship between salinity and temperature. Shantanu, you can be confused. There is nothing wrong with being confused. But क्या confusion है ये जरूर बता दो. सर वो डायग्राम में थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो गया हूँ. Which डायग्राम में आप कंफ्यूज हो गए हैं मुझे नहीं पता है. Sorry sir, I was not taking yesterday's live class due to doctor appointment and coming back with minor accident. Okay, take care of yourself. कोई बात नहीं, होमवर्क कर लीजिए. Perfect, Kushi. Take care of yourself, take care of your health, and complete your homework. So, Dushyant, किसने पूछा है? Shantanu ने पूछा. Shantanu, what is the doubt? Please be specific about the doubt. Whatever is your doubt, if you are specific, I can help you. Otherwise, थोड़ा मुश्किल है. So, I'll upload the same slides which were there. Before that, I would like to see the question paper. Question paper in the sense our syllabus. Syllabus से शुरू करें. Shall we start the class? So, we've already looked at your doubts and concerns. So, let us start. Just a minute. Okay, so Shantanu, is salinity directly affected by temperature? Is salinity directly affected by temperature? There is so much of interference coming in this. So I have no access to camera phones, so unable to submit homework, but improving by reviews. Okay, Shivam, very good. And Shivam, do like use others' answers and the feedback that will help you. And all others, compare your answers with others. You will definitely improve on that. Say salinity directly affected by temperature. I find high saline water can hold more heat. Can I say water is the main factor that changes the? Water is the main factor. God knows what we are saying. Okay. So Shantanu, I would want you to read the book. थोड़ा सा book को पढ़िए. ऐसे elementary questions में unnecessarily create नहीं करना है. That was a simple chemistry thing. So unnecessarily do not play with it. Chemistry thing. And I think if you've done science in your 11th standard, there's a topic which is called mixtures. So when you add solute to a solvent, the property changes. उसी में हमने देखा elevation of boiling point and depression of freezing point. And the solubility changes. उसके बाद उसका heat retention क्या होता है? That's a different story. So unnecessarily ये simple है कि when the water's temperature, simple solution is when you increase the temperature, solubility goes up. Solubility goes up. You take water and you add sugar to it, and if you want to dissolve more sugar, sugar syrup बनता है. What do? You heat it up or not? So warm water will have that. Now the chemistry of salty water is something different. So let's not play with it. Just hypothetically, please read the book. तो कुछ पढ़ेंगे भी तब होगा. क्लास में बात से बात मत निकालिए. ठीक है? बेकार में मैंने chemistry की बात कर दी. Elevation of boiling point and depression of freezing point. I simply know that like there are students who are very weak at chemistry in science. उनको ये जबरदस्ती बोल दिया, उसके बाद उनको अचानक याद आया, हाँ ये तो मैं जानता हूँ. उसके बाद सिंपल थिंग इज टेम्परेचर बढ़ाया तो सॉल्ट आप घर में डाल के देख लीजिए, शुगर, दैट इज हाउ यू इंक्रीज द सॉल्युबिलिटी. बट नाउ विद द केमिस्ट्री यू आर ट्राइंग टू डू दैट विद इनकम्प्लीट नॉलेज देयर आल्सो, हियर आल्सो, एटलीस्ट ओपन अ बुक. सो माय रिक्वेस्ट इज दैट. जब तक बुक नहीं खोलेंगे कुछ ऐसे समझ आएगा नहीं, ये गलत कोरिलेशंस करना शुरू कर देंगे. People will start doing wrong correlations. That should not happen. So people who wrote their answers, I said where there is a gap, you can do that. Yes sir, I read this relationship and sir found that an academic book given in a very simple way. So very simple way. I'm saying the book actually explains it in a very simple way. वो तो my mistake. I should concede my mistake that I brought in a higher idea of elevation of boiling point and depression of freezing point, assuming that people with a little bit of science background will be reminded of that. I did not know that like many engineers. आज सुबह morning में we had an engineer student asking us a question. So which one will release more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, burning or natural decomposition of water of tree? An engineer asking this, that which one will produce more carbon dioxide, wood, natural decomposition or burning? So अब जब है ऐसा तो मैंने गलती की. I'm saying my mistake that I started talking about that. Your simple understanding is when you heat the water, warm water, the solubility increases, and because of that the salinity will increase. However, we saw an exception to that also. I hope you understood that also, and my request is read something without reading everyone who's getting the this thing some connections. You'll never get the whole story of that. So we said near the polar areas what happens? Salt rejection happens, brine rejection happens. So there a lot of salt gets accumulated. Because of that, even in colder areas we saw high salinity happening. So that is not because of the temperature and solubility, that is because of some other factor. There can be multiple factors. A simple thing which I want to tell everyone who's listening to me right now is that you want to watch a Netflix series. Okay, and what you do is you open YouTube and you start watching its clips. Okay. Now tell me, you will understand what the series is about watching the clips. You will understand what is the series about. But will you get to know the critical events in the series? There are many series which you don't have time to watch. So what you do is you see the clips, one clip, two clips, and YouTube will be prompting you those other clips. Yes or no? So you get to know what is the broad storyline. But do you get to know the critical events, the climax, and other things? Yes or no? No. So what is happening in the class is you are getting clips of a topic. Do you get that? Where critical clips are put so that you understand also. I expect you to go back home and stitch them together in simple language, picked up from a book. That's all I requested. If you don't have a book, I give you a handout, picked up from a handout. And when you are done with that, you have the clips also, and you have the storyline also. Your preparation is complete. Then I give you one more exercise. Why not write it down? And I will have a look at it, supported with diagrams. काम बन जाएगा कि नहीं बन जाएगा? So that is my intention. I'm just telling you my scheme of things. That why do I integrate homework with my efforts? That I am giving you clips, important clips. You just have to go. Those are important, like beats, motiyo ki mala, and you can have the thread with you. That thread is in the book or in my handout. Just read that and write it in your own words. Job is done. Now what happens is if you do not do this process, then you are living with a lot of what clips, a collection of clips, and then what you try to do, clip 1, clip 2, they seem to be contradictory. Clip 1, clip 2 seem to be contradictory, and then what happens? Sir, I am seriously confused. True or not? अच्छा, सुनना तो अभी बता. Slow and steady wins the race. Do you agree? Slow and steady wins the race. Everyone knows that. So we should go slow but steadily. Fastest bullets go the smoothest. This is also a truth. Now your life has conflicts. Sir, I am totally confused. Do you understand why confusion is happening? Now we wonder, that teacher said from my notes it is possible. Why is this teacher saying that apart from the notes, make sure, whatever is in the notes, make sure you go back and read the book? I don't know why. There is this amazing teacher who's just saying this. So मैंने उसके notes कर लिए, and now I want someone to check my answers. So Mr. Sachin Arora, I am vomiting those notes. इनको तो एकदम list बना रखी है मैंने इन लोगों की तो. Very clear. ये तो कहीं पर आंसर है, ब्लॉक ही कर देता हूँ, सीधा ब्लॉक. Those people who are into this various coaching notes coming here and vomiting them, सीधा block. Because if you say something to them, they are wasting more time. Now let me tell you how both of them are correct. Number one, if you are preparing for UPSC, be slow but steady. Do not give up midway. Be patient. Build stamina. Yes or no? It will happen overnight. धीरे धीरे हो जाएगा. True. But when you open GC Leong chapter 15, do not unnecessarily give it 2 hours. Your mind will wander a lot. Finish that chapter in 20 minutes. Fastest bullets go the smoothest. Do you get that? Both are correct. Get that? You did your engineering or your graduation. Yes or no? It takes 3 to 5 years, depending upon your stream. 3 years, 4-year programs, 5-year programs. Yes or no? But when you had semester exams, you were supposed to go fast or not? Now tell me, is there any confusion? But why the confusion comes? Sir, you said salinity, temperature will increase salinity. Is there a direct connection? But there you said, if more saline is there. You are talking about 2 different scenarios, 2 different contexts. That is why when you ask me a question, do I ask you only for one simple thing? That, bhai, do not ask me a word or a phrase. You pick up the paragraph, post it, I will tell you what is it. Because it is in a context, no? True. Sir, I've been preparing for 2 years and still I have not gained confidence much. So, Madhukar, I'm sorry, but please don't take it otherwise. When I listen to your doubts, your questions and answers, because I keep track, I do keep track of my students. I'm fond of, students who are, giving their best. So, Madhukar, आपके answers में ऐसा लगता नहीं. As of now, reading your answers, it doesn't come across that you're a person who has done it for 2 years. I told you, the person who came only for answer evaluation, I could see from her work that this is only answer evaluation. This is that freebie wala. I'm very, very clear on that. No matter what they say, your work shows it all. So, Madhukar, I am very, 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 very clear on this. I'm very, very clear on this, that your answers have to show me more maturity, and I have a request, get the context correct. Is everyone okay? And Madhukar, I don't think that you are submitting the homeworks. A person who's been preparing for 2 years, can you submit your homework? Tell me Saurabh's homework, which he has submitted. Did I give him a feedback? I think Megha got a good feedback. And Saurabh got a corrective feedback. Saurabh, you need to stitch them together. Do we get that? Anjali, you got it wrong, sir. Anjali, I get it every day. I'm saying उसके बाद तो आपने आंसर भी नहीं लिखा. Get that? आपके पास टाइम नहीं था, मैं भी बता रहा हूँ. आई एम वेरी क्लियर अंजलि. I'm very clear on that what are coming, what is happening. I'm very clear. You can see that last night also before sleeping I've evaluated, and in the morning also I've evaluated. Good, bad, ugly, whatever comes. But the intention was genuine and people got their feedback. So that is what I'm saying. It's been long, yeah. It's been long and it doesn't look good that the teacher feels कि यार time pass हो रहा है, ऐसा अच्छा नहीं लगता. ठीक है? And credibility आती, मेरी भी credibility बनेगी. When I'm talking to you every day I'm meeting you, I say something, I do something, you can see, okay, he's trying to live up to what he has promised us. Yes or no? So you will start respecting me for that. You might feel, he promised us this, but वो तो सर ने कराया नहीं. You might feel, no, he doesn't deserve my respect. That's also normal. I'm saying why the student's performance should not be gauged. Why that should not tell about the student. It does tell. So please get that all of us, and especially my job is there to evaluate. मैं मधुकर के कोई बुरे के लिए नहीं कह रहा हूँ. Madhukar himself just now told no that he's been in preparation for 2 years. I'm saying the questions and the answers he gives does not tell us about 2 years. So probably he needs to improve on. That's all I'm saying. ठीक है? And if the teacher loses the power to even give a genuine feedback, उसके बाद आप बोले no you are wrong, तो यार ठीक है, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ, who's taking feedback? पहले हुआ करता है निंदक नियरे राखिए. Someone who can find faults, who can tell you the right way. The old age wisdom says keep those people around you, they'll always be treasured. अभी क्या होता है, साइकोफैंट नियरे राखिए, तारीफ वाला नियरे राखिए, in the name of motivator नियरे राखिए. How long would you take that external motivation? Motivation comes from inside. So keep your litmus with you, and people who are willing to take their litmus, that will work for you. Where are we? We are talking about bottom topography of Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Pacific Ocean. 3 oceans we are talking about. Are we done with this, everyone? As I said, my promise is that we will go by syllabus. We'll be looking at what content is needed in concepts also, as well as in fact and data. Everything will be served from here. Temperature and salinity का हो गया ये? Is everyone clear on that? With only request, homework करेंगे ना, homework करने से ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा. Homework is not to, like, it's an added work for me to look into it. Yes or no? But I want to tell you, the learning becomes effective because you look into the book also. True. Now we are into heat and salt budget. What is heat and salt budget? ये today कर दे. Can I do it today? Ocean deposits. What are ocean deposits? What are ocean deposits? ये कर लिया अभी? कर लिया कि नहीं कर लिया? Remember I told you, bucket के नीचे. Not geosyncline मधुकर, इसलिए कह रहा हूँ मधुकर, your answer tells me 2 years नहीं है. वैसे sediments की हमने बात की थी. यहाँ पर भी होते हैं, bottom पर भी होते हैं. These are the sediments, biogenous, terregenous, and remember something called as an ooze. If we did that, calcareous ooze, siliceous ooze, है ना? So मधुकर इधर geosyncline नहीं आता है. Do you get that? So ये भी हो चुका है. Can I take this also? Temperature, salinity, and this thing. Can I say currents are done? Currents done. Marine resources done. Biotic resources. Remember fishing resources, then mineral resources, bottom, deep sea resources, coastal resources, deep sea mining, yes, energy resources, renewables, and all that. This is also done. You should be very comfortable with what we are doing. Have we done law of seas? ये तो पहले दिन कर लेते हैं हम लोग. We've been talking about marine pollution a little bit. People who are doing that environment class, so we are there. So my promise remains that everything will be done. क्या हम sea level change भी कर चुके हैं? Remember isostatic and eustatic sea level changes. Is everyone going that? And I have always told you that whenever I say that it is going to come in the next unit or next, I will bring the syllabus again so that if you forget it, I will be reminding. And with all this thing, भाई पूरे हक से remind करो टीचर को, सर ये बचा हुआ है. Is everyone okay? अच्छा, wave में we have done the coastal part of it. Remember emergent coast and submergent coast, because there have been fusion questions which are being asked in the examination. What are the landforms in emergent and submergent, high energy coast, low energy coast? And thank you for doing the homework also. You have given the diagrams. So generally wave motion is to do with physics, and wave is not just ocean wave. So I don't expect much questions in them, but a fusion question is there. That part also I've touched upon. But yes, some part of it I would like to talk about it, and especially in terms of a wave called tsunami wave. I need to talk to you about that, and tides also I will be talking. Is everyone okay? So आज हम heat and salt budget करेंगे. We will try and do heat and salt budget. We will also do thermohaline circulation, which is a part of currents. This is what I am going to do. Thermohaline circulation is essentially advanced oceanography. Everyone with me on this? Coral bleaching, marine pollution, एक ही family में आते हैं. All these come in a single family. Can I say ecological aspect? So ये मैं कल करूँगा. कल क्लास है हमारी या सैटरडे को है? Sir, please upload sea level change material. Sea level change का material नहीं आया क्या? Everyone, sea level change. I did that with you. Madhukar is saying आया है. I remember putting that. Maybe geomorphology में डाला हो Mega. Mega is saying it is not found clearly in any book. Mega, it's very simple. 3 types. एक बार चेक कर लीजिए अपने update section of the course. It has been put. ठीक है? Most people are confirming it has been put. So once again, is the syllabus we are back. Yesterday I gave you a slight recap of currents also, because I know when I break the course into components, my intention is not to break it. My intention is at times help you recall once again. एक बार revise भी हो जाता है. I think in the very beginning, I don't know Nilni whether he is attending the class today or not. Nilni asked once, sir, why are we breaking the syllabus into basic and advanced? Why not finish in one go? Now we are at oceanography. Yes. Do you see the advantage of that? Visiting, revisiting. In between, we learned something on geomorphology, so oceanography we better understood, and then climate also. What happens is in offline classes, no blanket course is happening. Geomorphology finished. At that time, you don't know many other things. When you come to oceanography, you never get the time to connect to others. So that is why I have done that. This is my way of doing that. And a very important topic that is coming is perspectives in human geography. जिसका foundation पहले शुरू हो रहा है 4 topics. So वो philosophy of geography. If I do it in one go, first of all, it will start going overhead transmission. Second, which is more, which is going to produce more damage, is that you will start having fear of that. Tell me, abhi tak, I have brought in difficult questions, difficult topics also. Is geography anywhere giving you the fear? Anywhere? Do you have sufficient content as per the syllabus in terms of book as well as handouts? So usko bhi manage karna chahiye. Otherwise, things go bad. I just want to give you an example. I opted for an optional called public administration. Get that? So in our times, we used to have 2 optionals. So after geography, I opted the second optional as public administration. I reached there my first class with the teacher. So he said, you guys have opted for a bad option. Bad option? This is not a very good choice. He said, okay. I don't know whether he wanted to put something in context or not. I really thought, maybe he's saying bad and then he will bring it to the strength. He said, let's do a SWOT analysis of public administration. SWOT is SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, and क्या होता है threats. ऐसा कुछ होता है. मुझे नहीं पता था उन्होंने SWOT analysis किया. See, in the SWOT analysis, public administration is not a very good subject. That's my first day. I don't know what to say. I said, chalo, teacher. Now the class started. The books, they don't give the books. Whatever dictation he's giving, we are noting it down. Then a question comes. For every question, he had 1 or 2 points. So you can write this, you can write that. And in our time, you will be surprised. We used to have a question for 60 mark. 60 mark question in optional. That means you have to write at least 600 words. I have no issues, I can write. But the problem is if you have only 1 point and you are stretching it to 600 words, aren't you doing a chewing gum job? So should the teacher give multiple dimensions? Not giving. He will give us only 1 dimension. Second, if the teacher cannot give, can there be a brainstorming round in the class itself? When multiple people are thinking in different ways, will we have multiple threads? They don't even teach us brainstorming. They say whatever we are saying, you write that, and this subject is not very scoring. UPSC doesn't give marks. I really did not understand what was the philosophy. So first attempt, I gave public administration. I did not get good marks. So I knew, see, this is not a good subject. I have to leave it. Second attempt, before going, I said, see, this is not a good subject. As it is, I will not get good marks. Second attempt, did not. Third attempt, I decided to. Third attempt, imagine the story. Very sad story. Third attempt, I was convinced, wrong marriage. Time to divorce. Third attempt. And I said, I went to the interview, everything, and I did not clear only because of public administration, I will divorce it. Okay. But I did not see that in my first attempt, whatever marks I got in public administration, in second attempt, I had improved it. And I said, छोड़ना है, अब तो छोड़ूंगा. Then I decided to go for a very interesting optional. Interesting, scoring to nahi psychology. After 2 attempts, I said, no for public administration. Now, this is where something I would say is a mistake. Slow and steady wins the race. I was slowly and steadily improving in public administration, but I lost faith in that. So I took psychology. I studied for it. Get it? And after completing psychology, prelims came. I gave prelims. At that time, you did not have to tell what will you do in the mains. तब तक वो form में mains का अलग से form आता है. So prelims में you did not have to tell what optionals you are going to do. So when prelims was done, now came the mains form. I cleared my prelims, so came the mains form. Now the question was, which optional do I fill? 2 attempts already given with public administration. Third attempt, I am going for psychology. Yes, I have prepared and I am finding psychology very challenging. It is not easy. It is very, very interesting, no doubt about that. But to get marks, it is very, very challenging. So just before the examination, in my third attempt, I filled up public administration again. Up to public administration. So no preparation. This time, no preparation. But I filled up. Why? Because I was reading psychology and I was finding it very, very difficult. You get that to score in it. Not that subject is difficult, but to score in it, I found it very difficult. Third attempt, I scored one of the highest marks in public administration with least preparation. When you trust yourself, when you trust your ability to think and think. When I was growing, so it was out of my attempts, I crossed 300. Yeah. It really went well. But दिल में क्या बैठा हुआ है? ये तो छोड़ना है. Things did not work out. Third attempt also could not clear. Fourth attempt, now the final attempt. In our times we had only 4. Fourth attempt, it is like you've been dating a girl. Now the time to marriage has come. And you are dilly-dallying, you're not giving commitment. So I felt the same thing for psychology. When time for marriage has come, last time I went for public administration, this time I'll go for psychology. In fourth attempt, I wrote with psychology. Such a blunder it happened. No. The fourth attempt, I did not even get an interview call. Second and third I got, but fourth attempt to psychology, followed everything. Have I made my set of mistakes? Yes. Should I hide them? from my student. No. I am sharing them. Why? That will make me look like a fool. I'm sharing them so that you don't make your mistakes. True or not? Sneh is saying, sir, your energy stuck there. Yeah, मैंने तो जितनी energy निकालनी थी सब निकाल ली. But yeah, definitely you are applying that Freudian logic. कुछ तो अटका है. Purvi saying, I thought कि आपका optional geography था. Purvi, throughout my optional was geography. There were 2 optionals. No. तुम्हें तो पता ही नहीं syllabus क्या होता था. We had to have 2 options. One was tele. Geography was always there. The second one I changed. Sir, I would say that I did not have some good person to guide. That's okay. I'm saying at the end of it, after giving the examination, I always believe that it is our own conviction that matters. I scored great in public administration. Still, I did not have conviction in that. True or not? So why do I mix basic with advanced and break that thing so that you love your subject here? You can see where I can score, where I cannot. True or not? I'm saying geography is very well scoreable. पिछली बार भी टॉपर था मेरे साथ, उससे पिछले 3-4 साल से the top scorers have been with me. 3-4 साल से बताओ. And I have even top scorers who was this Rajdeep Karmakar. He did not get an interview call. But still he was the top scorer. So I said, Rajdeep, share your strategy. He said, sir, why should I share my strategy with people when I did not even get an interview call, or probably got an interview call, he did not get selected. He said, it doesn't look good, sir. Let only the selected people share their strategy. I said, you scored so well in it. Sir, why did you not go with public administration? That's what I'm saying, not my conviction. मेरा conviction नहीं था. Then to UPSC very challenging at that time with 2 options. Anirban, that time optionals used to have greater weightage than GS. We used to have 3 papers, 600 marks for GS, 600 marks for optional 1, 600 marks for optional 2. Do we get that? Plus 200 marks for essay. So ये 2000 हो गया. This is the scheme of things. So their optional used to have a big role. In fact, many people who took up teaching recently, they haven't even read optional for that. And do you know our prelims used to have? Our prelims did not have CSET. Our prelims had GS and optional. So people who appeared for the examination at that time, they have to go on so deep into the subject. We know all those things. Get that? True. I would also say, everyone, please get into this. When we are talking about optional, say Manish is saying, optional used to decide your selection. Manish is saying that why did you not go for this thing, public administration, sir? You were scoring well. So first attempt, what did I give? Geography and public administration. Low score. Geography and public administration, medium score. But I want to leave. Third attempt, geography and public administration, high score. Here I have introduced what in my life? Psychology. Geography and psychology, low score. Do we get that? Now the question is, sir, why did you leave this, sir? I told you one is escalation of commitment. Yeah, psychology padha hai to lena chahiye. Then I want to tell you an interesting thing. What happened? Why I could not own up this third one. Third one, I thought that this is not a regular result. That is why I've scored high. You will say, what is regular result? So I want to tell you. In my third attempt, after my mains of GS, after my mains of geography, then we used to have public administration. I reached the center, and I want to tell you, GS used to happen on a weekend. Okay, so for example, GS happened on date 1st and 2nd. Geography will happen on 3rd. Public administration will happen on 4th or 5th. Do we get that? So gap nahi tha inme kuch. Whereas psychology used to have a gap. Psychology will come on 16th or 17th. So at that time, the calendar was dependent on number of people choosing an optional. So geography and history, these were popular optional. So pehle ye ho jate the. Do you get that? Psychology mein fir aapko kya mila? Gap bhi mil gaya. So you had that advantage. So I did my calculation. Everyone does the calculation. I also did my calculation. What happened in the third attempt was very, very interesting. Geography paper happened. GS paper happened. I went to the center to write public administration, and UPSC tells us that the paper got leaked. So people who do not know, UPSC में paper leak होता है नहीं, paper got leaked. And I guess it was not public administration, it was political science paper. So political science and PubAd happens on the same day. Used to happen. Paper got leaked. So we said, then what will we do? They said, because of this, paper is cancelled. Then we said, what do we do? Our mains is halfway. They said, you will be informed. So after a month, we were told, ab PubAd de dijiye. So how much gap did I get, everyone? How much gap did I get? 1 month. Is it a normal thing? Will I get it the next time? No. तो मुझे समझ में आया क्यों मैं उसमें conviction अभी भी नहीं ला पाया. And where did my conviction go low? Because my teacher told me that this is not a very good optional, not a good optional. People who have been attending my classes from day one when I gave the orientation session, did I tell people that if you don't like geography, don't join it? You will not be able to give your heart and soul to it. If you are neutral, then also okay. Give me a chance to show you what geography is. But if you have doubt, नहीं यार, geography लेना नहीं है. But so many people are taking and they are saying इससे score आता है and all that. My topper Chacha Mama told me, don't do that. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say is that if you want to score high in any subject, first is have a strong conviction in that. Have a strong conviction in that, And I'm telling you a very big formula of clearing prelims is that whichever area you think is your weakness, work on that with the conviction that environment will become my strength. Culture is my strength. Current affairs is my strength. Trust me, pass it away. We always keep running from our weaknesses. And saying, look at ways in which we can engage with it. And this is how my courses are. That is why, when somebody asks me, sir, recording hai, you can do my recorded courses, no doubt about that. But when you are in my live courses, I will engage you, I will challenge you. And the next evening, there will be a task also. That task will also challenge you and test you. And in the process, you will go to the next level. So that is what I'm looking at. I hope you understand. I also hope you understand the design of the course and my intention behind the homework. चलिए. So आज हम क्या करने वाले? थर्मोहेलाइन पे चले. Okay. पहले सॉल्ट बजट कर ले. हीट एंड सॉल्ट बजट. अच्छा, कल क्या किया था? Salinity was done, everyone. Just a minute. Salinity for enclosed or partial seas was also done or not? I want to add something. Because I know some of you are lazy. You will not read something no matter what I do. But I know that to get marks, we will need that. So spatial examples for deviation in salinity in enclosed seas, inland water bodies. Partially enclosed seas, marginal and enclosed, absolutely another. So we talked about it one by one. बात करते हैं. So first example is Red Sea, enclosed basin, no mixing with Arabian Sea, no mixing. And third thing which happened, what is an error here is enclosed basin is there, no mixing is there. और क्या यार? एक तीसरा था, हाँ, land, surrounded by land. And that too, what land? Deserts. So deviation in salinity, Red Sea, remember? What is enclosed basin? To make example देना चाहता हूँ. This is Red Sea and there is a bar over here. So this is Red Sea and this is Arabian Sea. So they don't mix. So the water remains like this. I hope you've understood. This is not a map. This is a diagram. Map क्या होगा? So Arabian Sea and Red Sea. Do we get that? Achha. Similar logic applies for Mediterranean Sea. Did I say that it is an enclosed basin? Get it? Separate from Atlantic Ocean. There also a bar, I told you. There is a ridge separating it. Is everyone okay? एक और sea है Sargasso Sea. When I was talking about kelp, remember ocean currents, I said gyres are created in Atlantic Ocean, remember? Atlantic Ocean, gyre region, kelp and sargassum weed. ये weed है वहां पर. So plant has grown over there. I want to tell you that this is around 30 degrees. So what is it? Anticyclonic. Less mixing. Center of a gyre is also there. Less mixing is there. Do we get that? And we have vegetation also. So think about Sargasso Sea and surrounding Atlantic Sea. Will they have similar salinity or salinity will change? The salinity will change. I hope you understand why it is changing. You get the connection over there. So 3 example कर सकते हैं. Other than that, I showed you in the higher latitude. Always give the example of Baltic Sea and Ritika, you are very correct. Baltic Sea, एक North America का भी दे रहा हूँ, Hudson Bay. So why Ritika is saying Baltic Sea and North Sea? Because ये तो मैंने बताया था. But I have to tell you something else, no? So now, do we have the concept? Do we have the maps and diagrams? And do we also have the what can I say? The examples. अब आंसर में दम आएगा या नहीं आएगा? Can I expect some dum? एक इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ाना चाहता हूँ. Everyone, let us not name this concept for some time. Black Sea is an exception. Very good. Black Sea is an exception because of rivers. चलेगा. अनिर्बान, सुल्लू सी में क्या करना चाहते हो? सुल्लू सी कहाँ पे है ये बताओ. Where is Sulusi? Where is Sulusi? Is it north of Banda? Is it south of Banda? Where is Flores Sea with respect to Sulusi? Kankan is saying mid of Pacific. Kankan आंसर मत दिया करो, तुम्हारी तैयारी बहुत खतरनाक है, कब से कर रहे हो तुम्हें भी पता है, और इसका पैसिफिक के मध्य में कुछ नहीं लेना है. तो अनिर्बान जल्दी बताओ Sulusi. So Sulusi example is a Ullusi example. Please do not use Sulusi as an example. Number one. Second, I want to tell you again, for you these are map entries. These are map entries. I have been to these areas with my ships. Sulusi, Flores, Banda and everything. आज तक मुझे याद नहीं रहते. I have to visit those places. I don't remember them. और तुम उसमें छोटे-छोटे सीज ले रहे हो जिसको very difficult to see them as separate entity. Easy वाले बताया यार. Why make life difficult? So मैंने मैप में शो किया है Baltic, North, Mediterranean, Red Sea. Absolutely okay, Ritika. I'm saying because I gave you an example of Eurasia, no? So I gave you example from there also. अनिर्बान is saying मुझे भी याद नहीं, तो फिर क्यों सुलूसी लेकर आए भाई? डराओ मत. I'm saying as it is दुनिया में बहुत डर है और भी गम है जमाने में मोहब्बत के सिवा, और तुम उसमें लेकर आ गए सुलूसी. सौरभ बोला सर वो सविंदर सिंह में मिल गया था. अरे सुनो ना यार, सविंदर सिंह को तो कॉपी पेस्ट करना था. आई एम टू बीइंग प्रैक्टिकल, द वंस व्हिच विल बी इजी इन द एग्जामिनेशन. चलिए, so everyone, can we discuss mid oceanic ridge, can we discuss ocean currents, comment on marine heat budget and oceanic circulation. आज ये वाला करना है. ये क्वेश्चन अभी आप आंसर नहीं कर सकते. yes or no everyone? Can you see that despite what I taught you, you are not in a position to answer this? You'll be able to answer this. What is the economic significance of resource of continental shelf? ये कर सकते हो सर, लेकिन यहाँ तो इंडियन ओशन लिखा है. अरे जो दुनिया की शेल्फ है वो इंडियन ओशन में भी है. ट्रू और नॉट सर? लेकिन कुछ स्पेसिफिक पूछा तो अरे डू यू नो ऑयल कहाँ पर है इंडियन ओशन में, किस शेल्फ में? ऑयल ही तो बताने वाले थे. डू यू नो द फिशिंग रीजन्स? आप बढ़िया से फिशिंग करो, ईस्ट कोस्ट वेस्ट कोस्ट में सब करो. Anyone who's attending my classes and who is aware of what is brainstorming, I hope you will not be afraid of that. अब शिवम सिंह बिल्कुल गलत आंसर आपने दिया है. मीथेन हाइड्रेट. एवरीवन टेल मी, I told you about methane hydrates, I told you about cobalt crust and all those things. कहाँ पे मिलते हैं ये? Are they on the continental shelf or are they on the deep sea? Continental shelf or deep sea? Deep sea में शिवम अगर मीथेन हाइड्रेट पे प्रेशर नहीं होगा ना तो मीथेन will be released. It is only because of the pressure and the temperature that it stays there trapped. Do you understand? इसी का one of the reasons why that कौन सा ट्रायंगल है अपना, बर्म्यूडा ट्रायंगल, one of the reason is the release of methane hydrates over there. तो शिवम क्वेश्चन पे ध्यान दो बच्चे. क्वेश्चन was on continental shelf. जोश में होश नहीं खोना है. I know you are understanding it. You feel अरे यार I'm understanding. I don't want my students to be overconfident. I want you to be confident, not overconfident. There are so many students who are coaching notes and because of that they are becoming overconfident. वो नहीं होना चाहिए. Discuss the different bases for classifying ocean deposits. ये भी हमने कर दिया. Ocean deposits को classify कर दिया. Pelagic and non-pelagic वो भी हो गया था. Sea level. So these you can answer. अभी coral reef नहीं answer कर सकते and that you cannot answer. So we are going to talk about that. चलिए, एक interesting diagram. I want everyone to make this. Notebook, turn it around. Take the notebook, turn it around. Have you done that? Perfect. So I have a diagram for you and let us see whether you can make sense out of what I am trying to do in this. So first of all, I am taking the whole page and I am drawing this box, y-axis and x-axis. Is everyone okay? You will learn a very, very interesting thing from this exercise. Very, very interesting and a profound thing. So this is the ocean basin, everyone. This is the ocean basin. Get that? Ocean will have continental margins and oceans will have everything happening over there. This is the oceanic plate. Chalega? So am I teaching ocean bottom relief? No, I'm not teaching you ocean bottom relief. I'm just making this, assuming that these are the oceans. Now I want to make an interesting distinction over here. This is 90 degrees north. This is 90 degrees south. Is there any ocean that runs from 90 degrees north to 90 degrees south? Is there any ocean? Any ocean that runs from 90 degrees north to 90 degrees south? No, sir. But actually there is water from 90 degrees north to 90 degrees south. Yes, the land हो सकता है ना, अंटार्कटिका में land हो सकता है. We have given them names. That's a different story. So this is a hypothetical thing. I'm telling you. This is a hypothetical thing. But I want you to learn something from it. Hypothetical. Whether you use it in the exam or not, चलेगा. ठीक है? अच्छा. So this must be 0 degrees. So अभी तक तो you were understanding mid oceanic region and all that. Forget that. This is what? Equator. Can I say this is 90? So this will be 30 and this will be 60. Can I say this is 60? And similarly, this is 60. 60 degrees north. This is equator. And this is 60 degrees north. Is everyone with me? I hope you are drawing also. Let us see, an interesting thing will come out of this. A very interesting thing will come out of this. Now, let me take this as the top 200-meter water. Top 200 meters. Is everyone okay? Can I say 200 meter? Remember, what's the temperature from 0 to 20? Can you tell me? 0 to 20? What is the temperature 0 to 20? At equator, the surface temperature is to 26 and this thing. So can I say this is warm? And can I also say this is salty? Warm and salty. Can I say if this is 20 and 20? Can I say this is 20 to 35? This is highly salty. Remember 36 bola tha from yesterday's conversation. 0 to equator to 20 degrees north, and where will be 40? This will be 40 degrees north, this will be 40 degrees north. True. Can I say here the water is cool? Here the water is cool. Can I say cool, temperate? This is cool, temperate. But there will be seasonal variability. So cool and less saline. Less saline is there. Less saline. Comparatively. What sphere is this, everyone? What sphere is this? Homo sphere. Do we get that? Now, do you remember that depth of 1800 meters? That was the Klein region. What will happen to the temperature? Will register a short, quick fall. Even salinity will also register. Rapidly declining area. Can I say the thermo, halo, picno, Klein? And फिर homogeneous हो जाता है. Everything is homogeneous. Once again, homosphere. Homo, Klein. ये homo Klein. Homo मान लें इसको. Homogeneous. Everyone with this. From yesterday's thing only. I have done till yesterday's only. मैंने सिर्फ उतना ही किया. Are you okay with that? So this is homo. Homo what? ये मैंने क्या लिया? Just a minute. Homo thermal, homo haline, homo picnic. Everyone okay? इधर बहुत ज्यादा ब्राइन रिजेक्शन हो जाता है. इधर क्या होता है? ब्राइन रिजेक्शन towards the poles. Is everyone okay? Towards the poles. What is happening? Brine rejection. What kind of a water is here then? This water is cold plus dense, salty. Cold plus dense, salty. So if I ask you the surface variation of salinity, तो क्या आपको ये समझाना आता है कि नहीं? Can you tell me the surface variation, that how is it changing from equator and other places with seasonal variability and with also regional variability? Will we have exceptions? Exceptions will be there on the surface. Why? Because of partially enclosed and other characteristics. It is very much possible. True with me on this? Is everyone able to appreciate what I am trying to hint at? यहाँ तक ठीक है? I want to tell you one thing very important. Cold and heavy will have a tendency to sink. Will it sink or not? So remember, polar areas are the zones of sinking. What do they bring with them? Salt. They sink here. As it is, this area is cold. Here already cold. Here also cold. Everyone tell me what is the temperature over here? Did I tell you around 1.6 degrees Celsius? And what is the temperature at 60 degree north? वो भी इतना ही है. 1 degree के आसपास है कि नहीं? So can I say this whole area is actually cold water. I told you with a slight increase with depth, yes or no? If somebody asks you a statement, that thermocline, halocline, pycnocline are missing in higher latitudes, do you see yes or no? Because सब जगह तो ठंडा ही पानी है ना. 1.3 होगा, इधर 1.4 होगा. 1.3, 1.4. Can you see? Change is happening, but imagine change happening from 1.3 to 1.6. Is the thermocline, halocline, pycnocline well defined or just margin? समझ में आ गया? This water is sinking. It will come up also somewhere. It will come up somewhere, no? And this water is moving. These are the ones which form deep sea currents. Is everyone okay? Deep sea currents क्या होते हैं? And I also want to tell you how do deep sea current move. What will happen is the deepest water will go and collect. Deepest water level is going and collecting over here. Next, what happens? Sorry, coldest. Second level colder will come and collect on top. Second level. Third level cold and dense will come and collect on top. I hope you can understand if you have three liquids and you allow them to settle when they arrange as per density or not. So तीनों की अलग density होगी. Density 1, density 2, density 3, density 1, density 2, density 3. Yes or no? Temperature 1, 2, 3. Who's moving them? Is the wind there to move? No. There is slight slant in these layers. So will they have swift movement or very slow creeping movement? Creeping movement. Did I tell you they move probably 10 kilometers in a year? 10 kilometers in a year? That's slow. UPSC asked a question on what are water masses. Do you understand? 3D layers at the bottom of the ocean moving gradually are water masses. Remember similar 3D in the atmosphere were called layer masses. 3 layer दिखाई दे रहे हैं या कचरा कर दिया मैंने? I hope you are able to see 3 layers. This is water masses. When they reach, will they impact the properties? Yes. Can a marine relief feature impact their movement? Get that? Can there be some places where this water is forced to rise? I don't know, but कहीं पर हो सकता है. What will that be called as upwelling? So there are certain upwelling zones. The cold water comes. Now tell me, with this hypothetical situation, is my class, all my students, are you able to visualize what is happening inside the ocean? Latitudes, different latitudes. If somebody asks you how does the temperature varies vertically, you say in the polar region, no variation. At equatorial region, yes, there is variation. First warm and salty, and then sudden, salinity and temperature changes. We come to a stable one. That is what. Niche salinity be more or less constant. I told you 35. Salinity has also come to be constant. Everyone okay? Are we understanding the areas and things which I want to suggest? Are you understanding those things? With me? This circulation, cold polar water going down, and at some places coming up, going down, coming up, going down, coming up. Will it exchange the heat also? Global heat, budget, heat balance. So are deep sea currents or water mass movements also involved in planetary heat exchange? Sir, वो atmosphere से connect किया, बिल्कुल किया. Atmosphere and hydrosphere together are the instruments through which the planetary heat exchange is being maintained. Everyone clear? This circulation which is happening is called as thermohaline circulation. आज वो भी पढ़ाएंगे. I'll teach you that also today. So what is this diagram about? You can throw this diagram. कोई दिक्कत नहीं, take them. If you want to throw, you can throw this. But I wanted a visualization of the ocean. What is happening at the surface? Most of us are able to see surface currents. Deep sea नहीं देख पाते हैं. And I've seen teachers just dictate this or give printed handout कि बस ये हो गया. But if you were present and thinking in my class yesterday, you can actually see that graphically things are happening. How surface is connected to the bottom. ऐसा ही कुछ was happening in the mantle. Remember mantle convection? And these ones were called as hotspots. We can draw parallel. So there we can connect here also. Similar things happening, but very different things. We cannot definitely say that this is there. It's an ocean basin. Everything is happening in the ocean basin. Okay. Let us do one more interesting thing. Heat and salt budget of the oceans. Heat and salt budgets of the ocean. So remember heat budget of the atmosphere. The amount of heat received by the atmosphere, is same as the amount lost by atmosphere. Are you with me on this? The amount received is same as the amount lost by the atmosphere. So that was a heat budget. Net remains same. How can I be sure that there is atmospheric heat budget? We said that amount received is equal to amount lost. How can I be sure, everyone? Is there anything that is telling me which is the evidence that this is happening? Quickly, if you can think of it. What is the proof? What is the proof? Shantanu has got a very right answer. Earth is not overheating. Globe is not warmest. Nahi Purvi. Simple. Average temperature. Amit has got the right answer. Average atmospheric temperature remains more or less constant, 16 degrees Celsius. So abhi we are looking at no global warming leading to this thing, but for a fairly long time. It's only in the last 150 years because of anthropogenic global warming that things have changed. Are you with me on this, everyone? Clear? Because the temperature is same, and temperature is the degree of hotness and coldness. So if there was more heat coming, Earth's temperature would have got progressively increased. Otherwise, it would have decreased. Acha, aise, using the same logic, let me see how many of you are able to connect the dots. Using the same logic, what makes me say that Earth has a salt budget? What makes me say that Earth has a salt budget? Same logic. If you are able to apply that, maza jayega. Same logic. Heat has one thing. Now I'm saying Earth has a salt budget. Oceans have a salt budget, sorry. Saurabh says salt density remains same for a long period of time. मैंने कभी ऐसा नहीं कहा. Saurabh कहाँ से लाया पता नहीं. Sneha is saying correct. Average salinity of the ocean has remained more or less same. Anirban, wrong answer. All seas have more or less same salinity. Everyone, do you see Anirban's statement is wrong? How can all seas have seas and oceans? Change होता रहता है ना? Regional changes are there. Average ocean salinity has remained 35. That is why all oceans taken together, average is there. So that tells me there must be some budget. जितना input है उतना output होगा. Is everyone okay? True. Please write down. The ideas of oceanic heat and salt budget. Oceanic heat and salt budget signify a form of balance. Or equilibrium. Signify a form of balance or equilibrium of oceanic heat and salt content. Of oceanic heat and salt content. Of oceanic heat and salt content. Over all oceans taken together. All oceans taken together. Get that? The idea of oceanic salt budget लिख रहे हैं. The idea of oceanic salt budget derives from the principle of conservation of salt based on the nearly accurate assumption that the total mass of dissolved salts in the oceans is constant. Dissolved salts in the oceans is constant. एक नाम दे रहा हूं, Frau-Schemer's principle. What does Frau-Schemer principle say? That the amount of salt dissolved in the oceans is same. तो आपको ऐसा लगता है कि सचिन सर ने बनाया? नहीं, ऐसा एक principle है. They have found out, and this is called the Frau-Schemer principle. Yes, in bracket you can write down. Please write down. This applies. Please write down. This applies to oceans as a whole. Oceans as a whole. So like an average value. This applies to ocean as a whole. Though there can be local, regional, spatio-temporal variations. So this equilibrium is not a point equilibrium. This equilibrium is not a point equilibrium. This is a dynamic equilibrium. कौन सा concept है? जल्दी से बताओ. Something which is not a point equilibrium but a range equilibrium. कौन सा equilibrium है? Something which is not a point equilibrium but a range equilibrium. I gave you an example somewhere. जल्दी बताओ. Nobody is saying homeostatic equilibrium. What is it? Dynamic and fluctuating equilibrium. There will be variations, but it will come back to their own system. Is everyone okay? So principle of salt conservation समझ में आ गया? Is that done? This quantitative balance, this quantitative, in bracket I'm saying not qualitative. Yeah, qualitative at all. This quantitative balance can be mathematically depicted through the equation. Is everyone okay? Can be depicted through the mathematical equation. एक equation लिख रहा हूँ. S capital T, SB, SV, SC, SA plus SO minus S small a, S small b, S small e, S small p, SO is equal to 0. What is this? Salts received by oceans minus salts lost by oceans is equal to 0. कुछ technical words use किए मैंने. Froude-Schamer's principle, law of salt conservation. I hope you understand. It remains fairly constant. And then I'm saying, assuming that with that assumption, we are saying that a balance exists if the final figure is the same. So what is the change? So that is what we are looking at. Everyone with me on this? If you have a question, please ask. What are these T and B and V and C? So they are to do with the sources. What is T? Terrestrial or terrigenous. B, biogenous. V, volcanogenous. C, cosmogenous. A, anthropogenous. O, others. Is everyone okay? All sources of salt done. जो maximum salt आ सकते हैं, wherever they can come from, they will come through this only. True? With me on this, everyone? If any questions, please ask. If there are any questions, please ask. How is the supply? S, A. A is what? Anthropogenic. So do we take salt? Do organisms take salt? Biogenous. Yes. What is E? E is for evaporation and splashing. Evaporation and splashing. You lose salt in that also. Get that? E के बाद क्या है? P. P is what? Small p. Precipitation of salt. And O is our favorite. Others. Manish says, C, I did not get it. Cosmogenes. Yesterday's class, did we not say that oceans will get, from space also meteors and all that dust coming in? उसमें भी salt है ना? कल ही तो आप ही ने बताया. Wasn't the class telling me all this, Manish, when we were looking at sources? आप ही लोगों ने कहा. C is cosmogeneous. Please have a look at this. This is finish of the salt budget. Finish of the salt budget. Sir, what are the deviations? Deviations, you have already written it. वो तो हमारा salinity variations में आ गया ना, deviations are already there. With me on this? And did we understand all the categories? But एक बार close your eyes and think what are there. Sir, how loss from evaporation? How loss from evaporation? So Sneha, have you been to coastal areas? Have you been to coastal areas? No. People who have been to coastal areas, you spend a day, you spend a day on the coastal areas, facing the sea, and you did not allow, you did not take a dip in the water. You did not take a dip in the sea water. You were just standing on the beach. You spent the day on the beach. In the evening, take a finger, touch your cheek, and taste it. Your face will be salty. Yes, there is salt on your face. Where did the salt come from? Evaporation does not bring salt. So that's why I said evaporation and splashing. So when the waves are striking again and again, they create a mist, and that is called sea spray. Sea spray. So what is there? Mist of salt water is there. Mist है. Mist of salt water because of this. आप जाएंगे तो ocean sea पे आपको पता चल जाएगा moist misty है. Now what happens is the water evaporates. Definitely water evaporates, but the whole thing was airborne. So when the water evaporates, is the salt still there in the air? It may settle down because of its weight, but if it is lighter, will it continue to float? Will it continue to float? Can it stick to your face? Can it go up in the atmosphere with convection? And when it goes up in atmosphere with convection, can it act as hygroscopic nuclei, which you have read includes sea salts? NCERT में have they written examples of hygroscopic nuclei are sea salt? Did you ever think where did the sea salt come from? कहाँ से आया था वो sea salt? यहीं से आया था. With me on this, if you have a question, please ask. Done? चलिए. Let us talk about the heat budget also then. ये तो हो गया. Heat budget की भी एक equation होगी ना. So please write down the heat budget of the oceans. The heat budget of the oceans in general signifies that all the supply of energy to the oceans, is balanced by an equally large amount of energy loss. Signifies that all the supply of energy to the oceans, is balanced by an equally large loss of energy. True. In bracket, happens at a planetary scale. So lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrospheric, it happens at a planetary scale. So lithospheric, atmospheric, and hydrospheric heat budgets are a subset of planetary heat budget. True. So when we're saying heat budget of the oceans, obviously the thing that comes to our mind is, okay, heat budget is happening in the oceans, but remember it was happening in the atmosphere. I'm saying it's happening in the lithosphere also. They should be seen as a subset. And please write down further, the heat budget and its components are controlled by various heat exchange processes. What are heat exchange processes? Radiation, convection, advection, ये सब है या नहीं? Radiation, conduction, convection, advection. So heat exchange processes between all spheres of the Earth system. All spheres of the Earth system. Can I say all 5 spheres of the Earth system? चलेगा? What are the 5 spheres? Lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and cryosphere. For a geography optional student, we can write these technical languages. Lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and cryosphere. Please write down next paragraph. Thus one can clearly see that oceanic heat budget should not be seen in an isolation, or should not be seen in isolation with the rest of the planet. In isolation with the rest of the planet. In fact, any change in the heat balance, in these spheres, in the Earth system, can trigger feedback loops, aimed at restoring the balance. In fact, the oceans act as a thermostat. Remember, air conditioners have a thermostat, refrigerator have a thermostat, temperature control. Oceans act as a thermostat of Earth's climate. By absorbing the surplus heat, and releasing it gradually in a controlled manner. In fact, the ability of the oceans in terms of absorbing carbon dioxide as a carbon sink, gives a more wider role to the oceans in the exercise of maintaining planetary heat budget. Everyone with me on this? Mathematically, please write down. Mathematically, oceanic heat budget over long period, in bracket, not short term or daily frame. Over long period, in bracket, not over short term or daily period, can be represented by the following equation. QS, QE, QKE, and QO minus QB, QA, QE, QO is equal to 0. QS. S means where are we getting most of the heat from? Sun and sky. Heat is also coming from Earth's internal energy, Earth's interior. Can I say geothermal? Yes. KE. Mega, this is not residual heat. बेटा वो तो अर्थ के इंटीरियर की बात हो रही है. Geothermal energy where volcanoes are erupting or some rocks are hot, ऐसा भी होता है ना. We're not talking about mantle ki heat and core ki heat. We're talking about ocean bottoms. Everyone with me on this? QKE. When the waves are striking each other, friction, kinetic energy, is it going to generate energy? And O is my favorite, others. कुछ समझ में नहीं आया तो others. What is QB? B is who's taking heat from the oceans? Is life taking heat from the oceans or not? Life is taking heat. Is atmosphere taking heat? Atmosphere is also taking heat. Who else is taking heat? Latent heat also. So we'll look at them one by one. So heat कैसे जाती है? अगर मैं आपसे बोलूं 3 types. Let us look at this. Remember radiation, conduction, convection. Have you heard these things? 3 types of loss of heat. So what is QB? B stands for back radiations. Is everyone okay? Insolation. These are what? Insolation. What we return is called back radiation. So radiation. Conduction. Remember the atmosphere which is in contact with water surface. Atmosphere which is in contact with water surface. What will we call them? क्या call करेंगे? Atmosphere. To atmosphere through conduction. But the air becomes warm and evaporates and rises and takes the heat. And in clouds it condenses and comes back. What is happening? Convection. And in this, can I say that this is happening in evaporation? Evaporation, QE, QA, evaporation. Can I say latent heat? But sir, you said, even living organisms absorb some heat. Yes. Others, can I say that? Everyone okay? Is the heat budget, salt budget done? If you have any question, please ask. Heat budget and salt budget are done from my side. Planet's heat budget and salt budget are done from my side. Can I bring in some slides also? Where will you read? Problem ही आती है. आप पढ़ेंगे कहाँ से? And I hope you understand why I am asking you to read. My intention is to connect things. My intention is you should have a proper language also. So चलिए दिखाते हैं कहाँ से आपको पढ़ना है. What do you have to read? Sea surface temperature. This yesterday we talked about 3-dimensional body. What are the temperatures of each of the ocean? We had talked about this also, and I said this is 30 degrees north and 30 degrees south. The distribution yesterday, sea surface temperature, we had done. Heat budget. Heat budget in general signifies that all supply of energy is balanced by equally large losses of energy. Similarly, heat balance of the oceans is primarily controlled by various processes. Remember, ocean water, sun, sky, kinetic energy, sensible heat, condensation, and various processes. So ocean water heating is there, and various processes of cooling, heating processes and cooling, back radiation, sensible heat, convection. Have I done it in the equation? Is everyone okay? Do you know how to write an equation in a para? In the examination, would you want to write in a para or the equation is better? Just to show you, book में क्या है, book को मैं maths में भी कर सकता हूँ. So be smart, use that. According to the nature of heat distribution, ocean exercises thermostatic control. That also I have explained. Can you read from here? The surplus radiation of the sun from the sky is minimized to 0 by evaporation. Remember, evaporation and heat transfer happens, so heat is getting transferred also. From the oceans, the whole average annual heat received QS, QB, QH, this is equal to 0. So हम ये भी कर सकते हैं. This is one way of writing it. I made it an easier one for you. Considering separate latitudes for incoming short wave and outgoing long waves at effective radiation show varying degrees of concentration in different. So can I say latitudinal differences can happen? Yes. Even in atmospheric heat, but did we say that global balance, global or planet level balance, but latitudinal imbalance? Did I talk about this? In this we said heat surplus and heat deficit. So what is happening? The heat is being transferred from surplus to deficit. How is it transferred? Everyone, देख के बताइए. Do you see some transfer happening somewhere? Heat getting transferred. Can you see it? Can you see the heat getting transferred? Yes? Yes, sir, I can see the heat getting transferred. So that is what I'm saying. That is what I'm trying to tell you all. Is everything getting connected? So that's why I made a diagram so that you can see and you are comfortable with this heat budget idea and everything. Now we're coming to thermohaline circulation and the stratification. This shall we do after the break? 5-minute break चलेगा? तुम लोग याद दिलाते हो? 5 minutes break. So it is 13:29 ले ले. 13:35. 6-minute break. If you want, you can have a look at your notes also. If you want to ask a question, you can ask that also. What we'll be doing, we will be talking about halothermal stratification and the TS diagram and other things. These are technical things. See you in 5 minutes. So do we start? Everyone with me on this? Okay, perfect. So now we are talking about stratification. Stratification, so layering has happened. And what is this layering? Warm water up to 10 degrees Celsius, which dominates in sea surface, do not extend below 500 meter. So warm water than 10 degrees Celsius, which dominates the surface, उसके नीचे नहीं आता वो, ठीक है? So we've already looked at through our diagram that the warm water stays limited. The sharp drop of temperature with depth characterized by ocean is between 40 north to 40 south. Remember this? So did I draw that sharp north? Did I draw this or not? That hypothetical curve which we had drawn. So generally this is 40. This is 40. Up to this there is sharp. After this it becomes gentle, and here no decline or constant. In this area, sharp and well defined up to 40-40. Is everyone okay? Up to 40-40 we have this very sharp. So that is why I said the temperature will fall from here to here. And here the gradual thing is there. So that sentence also you must be able to understand. And that's why I generally tell my students, no, suddenly they will, what they will do is they'll come and quote this. They will tell this, so why does it happen? So it takes a full diagram to explain you all those things. The water below the thermocline exhibits a much reduced temperature decrease with the depth. So below the thermocline, so can I say it becomes homoclinal with depth? Yes, or homoclinally homothermal. If the salinity field, in the salinity field, the surface tropical and subtropical are salty. With the deeper water, somewhat fresher. Can I say deeper water, somewhat fresher? Means, what do I mean by somewhat fresher? Means the salinity sort of decreases. The rapid decrease in salinity with depth accompanies thermocline is halocline. Get it? But if we go to the deepest water, so deepest water is relatively saline and it becomes constant. This water is derived from sinking or cooling of saline surface water in North Atlantic Ocean. Get it? We call it North Atlantic deep water. Contrast to this, Pacific is relatively fresh as it is experiencing no deep convection of cool salty surface water. Its surface layer is too fresh and too buoyant to sink in the ocean reasonably at reasonably cool subsurface season. So, like we said, just at equator we have more rainfall, so it has a difference. Similarly, at Antarctic also, a lot of fresh water is released over there. So relatively the salinity is different over there. Is everyone okay? So do we understand that? First of all, I wanted to explain that figure which we had through words. So that was the diagram. Now let us look at stratification. Oceans are not homogeneous pool of water. Owing to high degree of dynamism, there is a halothermal stratification. Stratification of ocean occurs as a natural occurrence. Stratified oceans occur when water with different properties like salinity, density, temperature forms layers. Have I shown you layers? And there are barriers between them. The barriers prevent water from passively mixing across the thermocline boundary. Get that? Because it is actually the boundary between warm water and cool water. Because on the sides, did we see it is all cold polar waters, and then we have warm water, so there is a difference in the water mass. There is a difference in the water mass. Usually wind, upwelling, downwelling, storms can help the cool water across the boundary and mix. Can agitation cause them to mix or not? Agitation can cause them to mix. With increasing temperature, decreasing wind current, strong and prolonged stratification occurs. So deeper you go, सब चीजें बदल जाती हैं, stratification happens. So can I say this is the top layer? This is the middle layer where turbulence is happening, decline, and this is the deep layer. But can you see this does not show any impact of the latitude? In my diagram, I've shown latitude. Wind will have an effect. Will it have an effect on the deeper sea? No. Here, no. Top layer only. Ocean atmosphere exchange, evaporation is happening, rainfall is happening. That also impacts more on the top layer. Ice melt is happening, top layer. Do we get that? The varying dense layer of the water are able to mix through wind, upwelling and downwelling. So, अगर mixing होगा तो वो कहाँ पर होगा? If any mixing happens, when will it happen? Through these vertical ones. So, if a question comes, what is the significance of upwelling and downwelling? Do we understand, everyone? Significance of upwelling and downwelling. Get that? Upwelling and downwelling. It is actually heat exchange. It is actually completing this cycle, and this cycle is called thermohaline cycle. Is everyone okay? Now, I want to tell you that how do we measure salinity? Can I say salinity impacts the density? Salinity impacts the density. So I want to measure the salinity. How do I measure it? This is a device called salinometer. What does it do? What does the salinometer do? It extracts the salt out, or what does it do? क्या करता है? Any idea? It measures the conductivity of water. It measures the conductivity of water. Remember, salt will change the conductivity. Fresh water will have different conductivity. Salt water will have different conductivity. I told you adding solute can change the boiling point, the melting, the freezing point, and the conductivity. So what has happened is there is a problem that you can take samples here. But deep sea mein, finding density is difficult. Yes or no? Is it difficult or not? In deep sea, it is very, very difficult to find out the salinity and the density. So what they have done is, they have found a method, indirect method of graphs, graphical indirect method to measure the stratified layer density. Is everyone okay? So question aa jata hai, what is that graphical method? That is called TS diagram. What is that called as? That is called as TS diagram. So we have graphs where temperature and salinity are plotted. What are plotted? Temperature is plotted and salinity with depth. And because density is a function of temperature and salinity, so they indirectly find the density. Do we get that? They know which are the upwelling zones. They know which are the downwelling zones. Yes, upwelling zone is doing what? Cool water to the surface, so the temperature they know. Downwelling is doing what? Surface water to the bottom. It is through this process. Nutrients are also there, and along with nutrients, can I say salts also? Can I say here there will be fairly constant temperature and salt layer? Can I say here there will be a lot of mixing? So difficult to find out. Is everyone okay? Are you understanding the ideas of? Is everyone understanding the idea of stratification and the issue of measuring density of the water? Yahan tak clear? Haloclinal stratification, halothermal stratification based on temperature and salinity, which in turn reflects the density. Yahan tak clear, everyone? Okay. Halothermal stratification. Oceanographers often use TS diagrams to determine the origin of seawater properties, because they know salinity is there. Idhar ki salinity hai, where did this go? So that is, a parcel of seawater achieves its temperature and salinity at sea surface in response to sea air heat and freshwater change. At the surface, derived TS value change within the ocean interior only by mixing with other parcel. Hence, seawater spreading from the surface into the ocean volumes can be used to trace TS properties. So the temperature and salinity which are on surface, they are the characteristic properties. Remember, like an air mass. When they move inside, they will be going in the ocean interior by mixing with other parcel. We can trace them. 75% of the ocean volume falls within a narrow range of temperature and salinity. Remember, at the bottom and towards the pole, the temperature and salinity remains the same. This indicates that only a small part of the sea surface contributes characteristic to deep ocean. As noted above, these are North Atlantic and Southern Ocean. So where are actually salty and cold water coming from? Poles. Unko identify kar lo. Did we understand? Remember, in climatology, we had something called as a source region, air mass source region. Can I say what they are saying is that the deep seas have more or less the same temperature and same salinity constant, doesn't change. But if some water is more saline, that means it has come from somewhere, because it is carrying some source region. So they have found that these two regions in the world are North Atlantic near Greenland and Southern Ocean around Antarctic. They can trace it. So ये tracing समझ में नहीं आ रहा. Tracing का एक example दूं everyone? Let me give you an example. I have water in a container. Everyone okay? So water in a container. Homogeneous water. I take a syringe, injection syringe with a needle, and I insert colored dense water. What will happen to the colored dense water? Will it spread or not? True. It will not mix easily. Because it is different from others. Because it has different density, it has different temperature. True or not? Similarly, what they are saying is that water from North Atlantic Ocean near Greenland or Antarctic, what do we have around Antarctic? Southern Ocean, can be visually seen. ये यहाँ से आया है, वो वहाँ से आया है. Because more or less the deep oceans have temperature where 1 to 2 degrees Celsius, and what is the salinity? Salinity is 35 के आसपास, 34 something. True or not? So if more salty water comes, will it start showing up? So when they come in contact with each other, will they layer? So one is the normal water plus red water plus green water. Will they layer or not? So that layering will also happen. Is everyone okay? Let me read that again for you. Oceanographers use TS diagram. They identify the temperature and salinity, and they plot it wherever it is going. Wherever that is going, they would write the temperature, salinity. Yes or no? Origin. the parcel of water which achieves its temperature and salinity from the surface, like the Antarctic water and Atlantic water, it surface derived the TS value, it has acquired the TS value. Arctic water has its value. Now it is going in the ocean interior. Hence, the sea water spreading from the surface into the volume we can trace the TS properties. And because 75% of the ocean volumes remains in the same range, so this surface, the change which is there is mostly contributed from North Atlantic and South Ocean. Is everyone okay? Are you with me? एक और interesting question, I will pass one more question. This is an ocean current. This is an ocean current. And here we have land. Because of the land, the ocean current cannot continue. Where will it bend? To the north or to the south? Where will it bend? To the north or to the south? Both. Right? I thought you will give me a correct answer. You said it will depend on the hemisphere. Coriolis deflection. Okay, come on, yeah, this we had done. It will depend on the hemisphere, no? Northern hemisphere. लो यार, ये तो बड़ी गलत बात कर दी. How can it go on both sides? True. So rule है ना. So you are getting married. Your parents help you see A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. सबके बारे में आपने देख लिया. You met them, you know about them, you studied about them, family हो गई. Finally is the date of announcement. I said, which one will you go with? Sir, all. पागल हो गया यार. Either one or with no one or none. यही option है यार. All five, sir. Sir, in foundation class, you answered both sides if hemisphere is not known. Only in my foundation class, I also told that Coriolis force was not known then. So I am saying my answer would be, sir, depending on Coriolis force. Do we get that, everyone? Why am I doing this? I wanted to remind you of something. So everyone, please tell me. This is a hypothetical continent. ऐसा कौन सा continent होता है पता नहीं. This is not Atlantic near Greenland. This is Antarctic. Do we get that? Now this cold water flows towards the equator. True or not? Where? Deep sea. Why deep sea? Because what is happening over here? Can I say downwelling happens? Is everyone okay? Polar areas, downwelling happens. Downwelling happens in polar cold salty water. It goes at the bottom. When it goes at the bottom, it will reach the bottom and it will start moving. Coriolis force will act. So where will the water go? Where will the water go? Which side will it turn? Then बताओ. This is equator. This is continent number 2. North wala will turn to the right. South wala will turn to the left. So will it come and come next to the continent? Will it come next to the continent? Is everyone okay? So can I say in the oceans, can I say this whole is a ocean? In the ocean, deep sea currents generally flow closer to the western boundary of the ocean. Is everyone okay? Imagine a 3D, water going down. Now it has to go to equator, but I turn towards the west. Can you see in both the cases? In one case, the deflection is happening to the left, remember? Coriolis force causes deflection to the left in the southern hemisphere, to the right in the northern hemisphere. Both cases, this is there. Surface water can flow whatever way. Surface water, remember, can flow whatever way. Gulf Stream and all that is there. True. If this was what? If this was Atlantic Ocean, so how will it flow? Surface water is flowing like this. Gyre there or not? But can I say a part of surface water is getting downwell, and where is it going? It is going as western boundary current. Are you with me? समझ पा रहे हो? नहीं समझ पा रहे? नहीं समझ पा रहे तो चित्र दिखाते हैं. Everyone, warm surface water and deep sea water, they are connected. All oceans are connected and they are very well connected. This whole circulation is called thermohaline circulation. Ocean surface and bottoms are connected. Where are they connected? Can you see here? Sinking is happening. True. Sinking is happening. Here, sinking is happening. Here, sinking. Polar air, no? Sink polar. This whole area. Will it rise up somewhere? Yeah, some places it will rise up also. Wherever it is upwelling happens, it comes out. Okay, that upwelling happens. Remember of Australia, do we have upwelling zone? Do we have upwelling zone here, Venezuela? Upwelling goes here, sinks. Indian Ocean also places they're sinking. Here also places they're sinking and rising. Is everyone okay? It's just a diagram दिखाता हूँ. Everyone, this is the surface current. Gulf Stream. Can you see Gulf Stream? Gulf Stream goes, becomes North Atlantic, and here is Greenland. Does it sink? Can you see? Gulf Stream has sink down. Now it is going down. And because of Coriolis, will it go towards the west? Can you see sinking arms? Gulf Stream sinking. And can I call this as western boundary current? Remember, on the surface, Gulf Stream is flowing. At the bottom, deep western boundary current will be flowing. Is everyone okay? Why not here? Remember, Coriolis will push it. Let me go back. So Gulf Stream is taking warm water and cold water as this thing, and deep sea current. यहाँ पर भी deep sea current होता है. Deep sea current. And where will it rise? It will rise at some places which are upwelling. So in a conveyor belt like fashion, because of upwelling and downwelling of oceans, it is seen that the water is being exchanged, and in the process, what else is being exchanged? Everyone, heat is also being exchanged. Everyone with me on this? Sir, समझ तो आया, लेकिन I don't know. मैं एग्जाम में कर पाऊंगा या नहीं? Very good. Can we take a fresh page? Turn it around. Make a world map. Can you make a world map? Is everyone okay? Now, I am drawing a solid line for the surface, solid red line for the surface currents. Sir, you have red color also, sir. I don't have it, sir. I am so jealous. Because solid line is surface current and dotted line is deep sea current. If you don't have colors, you can use that also. Stop being jealous. True. Now what is happening? Cold water either sinking हो रहा है. So what will happen? Cold western boundary current. Yes or no? Along the Antarctica, can you make this? With me on this? जैसे Pacific Ocean में हम आ जाएंगे. We'll come to Pacific Ocean. Now here we are in the Pacific Ocean, and then in the Pacific Ocean, what happens? We come here. कितना बन गया? Deep sea current. Is everyone okay with this? Deep sea current. The surface heat is traveling like this in the Atlantic Ocean. First, let us do only Atlantic Ocean. So can I say from the south, from here, heat is going northward, and in the bottom, heat is being transferred southward? Yes. Along the meridian, around the meridian. And is it turning around? We call this as AMOC, Atlantic Meridional Circulation. Just like we had atmospheric meridional circulation, here we have Atlantic circulation. Everyone with me on this? If you are, please confirm. Can we have a look at this once again? Have we drawn it correctly? I need to train you into this also. The deeper water has come and is here. Where is it going? It has to go north. We will go north also. But are you with me up to this? ये पहला तो ये AMOC बनाया है, ठीक है? Now it will cause upwelling at some places, and it will come up. So where is it coming up? नीचे तो चला गया था. this will come here, and it is coming up. Get it? This will come up here and go like this. Everyone, did you see the red connection? Everyone, are you comfortable? फिर यहाँ क्या अपवेलिंग हो रहा है? रिमेंबर सोमालिया के पास सोमाली रीजन अपवेलिंग हो जाता है. इधर कौन सा होता है? बेनीगुएला. Multiple places. Let's not go into one-to-one correspondence with that. I'm just saying so that you can appreciate this. This cold water which was there, does it rise here or not? Can you see the direction of the arrow? It will rise here. True, it will rise here. And here we are looking at it will rise and it will continue like this. We need to learn how to make that. So cold one rises. Let me draw this properly. This cold one will go and rise. Is everyone able to make the thermohaline circulation, global thermohaline circulation? Now, when we see in the book, it looks easy, I can make it. But when we actually draw it, we find it challenging. So that is what I'm trying to do over here so that you can also understand and draw it. Deep ocean currents are driven by temperature differences, which is controlled by temperature and salinity. They are also called as ocean conveyor belt system. So deep ocean currents are generally driven by temperature and salinity because they keep on moving like a slow conveyor belt. They are called the ocean conveyor belt. Thermohaline circulation refers to this. It describes the movement of ocean currents due to temperature and salinity across different regions. Yes. And because of the change in density, this results in water to move. Cold water is usually denser and it sinks. Water with high salinity is also denser. So either cold water or saline water. Remember polar region, brine rejection. So a lot of salt makes it heavier. Yes. And this is so important. This heat exchange is so important that if it does not occur, if this heat exchange does not occur, then what will happen, everyone? If this heat exchange does not occur, what will happen? Quickly. The Earth's imbalance. The entire Earth system climate will change. Do we get that? The Earth system, all those heat excess at equator. The Earth system, lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, cryosphere, their temperature balance will change. If this stops, it will bring ice ages. If this stops, it will bring ice ages. Last time when it stopped, Europe went into ice age. Entire Europe came under ice. Do you get that? Sir, ये रुक भी सकता है. Can this stop, sir? Oh yes. Haven't you been looking at current affairs? A recent study by Nature Climate Change said that AMOC is losing its stability. And modeling says that if AMOC shutdown happens, it would cool the northern hemisphere, and there will be decrease in rainfall over Europe. So why will rainfall decrease? Obviously, when the air is cooled, its moisture holding capacity will go no. So rainfall will go. So I say that who has given this? Nature Climate Change notes. IPCC also has given us the report. The Finding Support Assessment Report 6, which was published in 2021, says that the AMOC is declining. AMOC decline is not just fluctuation; it is reaching critical threshold. Remember something called as tipping point. लो जी हमने AMOC को भी tipping point तक धकेल दिया. AMOC has also reached, remember that boundary, homeostatic balance. We are about to breach that boundary. वो boundary हम तोड़ने वाले. Everyone with me on this? We are about to reach that boundary. El Nino को भी affect करेगा. Yes, AMOC is the Atlantic branch of THC. Can we expect a question only on AMOC? It carries warm surface water. Remember warm surface water towards the pole, and polar cold water returns the cold water to tropic as bottom current. From there it is distributed to all oceans via Antarctic circumpolar current. Sir, वो क्या होता है? What is Antarctic circumpolar current? Antarctic circumpolar current क्या होता है? ये भी बताना होगा. Is it redistributing to Indian Ocean, to Pacific Ocean? Yes or no? And here, what is it coming as? West. boundary current. Everyone, whatever is written is shown in your diagram. Be happy. Tumhari diagram, your diagram is showing it. Do we get that? AMOC collapse will bring something. What will happen? Cooling in the North Atlantic. Sea ice will increase. Greenland, Iceland, Norwegian Sea, south of Greenland, and a significant amount of rain belt migration over the tropic Atlantic. So rain which is happening in these latitudes will shift southward. Do we get that? Everything will go cold. Sir, acha, we wanted cold, sir. It is becoming very hot. That idea is good for us. Europeans will be sad. Europeans are happy these days. Their growing season has increased. And everyone tell me, these days till 7 p.m. तो दिन रहता है नहीं रहता है? These days till 7 p.m. it is day 7:30 का तो अच्छा रोशनी रहता है. So you are getting a lot of energy period. A person like me who works on photosynthesis, morning 5:30 I'm active until 8 o'clock तो पता ही नहीं लगता, and then suddenly the day ends. True. So in our case, our active hours increase. But when I was in Europe, the day would end at 4:30, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Winters में वहाँ पे स्टोरी खत्म. 4:30, 5 o'clock. You go further Norway and all, वो तो अंधेरा हो जाता है 4:30 पर. 4:30 पर it is dark. True. So anyways, AMOC is going to do this. Is everyone okay with AMOC? Do you see what is ocean thermohaline circulation? Are we getting a... These concepts are important. Please keep them in mind. They are very, very important. And you are learning higher concepts over this. Do you know how to draw this also? ये भी ड्रॉ करना आ गया. सर लिखूंगा क्या? यहाँ से लिखना. सर बट डेफिनेशन तो लिखवाई नहीं. इधर लिखवा दी. Here is the definition. So I want to copy something. I'll feel happy. Tape lane. Same copy this. Okay, sir. Thank you. So will you give some handouts more? I'll give more also. So how many will feel happy? Tape lane. So, and you are learning higher concepts over this circulation. Are we getting our concepts? These concepts are important. Please keep them in mind. They are very, very important. And you are learning higher concepts over this. Do you know how to draw this also? ये भी ड्रॉ करना आ गया. सर लिखूंगा क्या? यहाँ से लिखना. सर बट डेफिनेशन तो लिखवाई नहीं. इधर लिखवा दी. Here is the definition. So I want to copy something. I'll feel happy. Tape lane. Same copy this. Okay, sir. Thank you. So will you give some handouts more? I'll give more also. So how many grams? You can weigh them once. Depends on the paper size you get photocopy. Put handwritten on the group. There are people who are writing hand. You can use that also. You know, coaching in Delhi gives an advertisement on Hindu newspaper starting geography optional with handwritten notes. I did not understand. You know, like how can handwritten notes make a difference? Handwritten हर साल बदल जाता है. Imagine handwritten. What I teach this year. Say for example, I'm teaching AMOC. Last year I was not teaching AMOC. Yes, so handwritten notes. You know who writes those handwritten notes? Students who did not clear the examination. They are going there. Mahatma Gandhi Narega. Sir, what do I do? Come your notes. No, you wrote no. Put them as fair, and we will sell them. This is what is the reality of handwritten notes. Nobody's interested. क्या हो रहा है? Everyone okay? West margin समझ में आ गया? You have good diagrams also, and can you see ocean bottom also? North Atlantic deep waters. Remember, it is going towards Antarctica. From Antarctica, it will rise, and other things will also happen. ये सब मैंने आपके लिए बनाया. AMOC के बारे में Atlantic Ocean, Southern Ocean, and Indo-Pacific, what is happening? All these deep water and all those. These are a little technical, but I thought of putting that. Some people have this idea technical. We know about the past fluctuations. Past fluctuations have happened in salinity, isotope signatures of single-cell organisms called foraminifera. पता कर लो यार foraminifera क्या होता है. These days prelims में ये सब बकवास भी पूछता है. Yes or no? I felt really sad, you know, when they were asking foraminifera, cnidaria, and all that. क्या चाहता है? But remember, these questions are asked to be left with due respect. Remember, good ball, nice bouncer. What should you do? Duck. है ना? जिन लोगों को नहीं पता IPL देखो. Respect the ball. Good bowler. कितना अच्छा ball किया. Thank you. Loose ball, punish it. Same thing. Yeah, that AMOC and thermohaline circulation have always been fluctuating. Millions of years, they have been fluctuating. So ऐसा नहीं है कि वो. But climate models have long predicted that global warming can cause weakening of major ocean systems. ऐसा भी नहीं, it has come new. It will change because of global warming. That is one of the warnings which IPCC is giving. But IPCC का काम है warning देना. Last month, researchers noted that last ice area, you heard of that near Canada? That has also melted. Fresh water from melting ice reduces the salinity and density. Now imagine how this AMOC is slowing down. You want denser and cold water near Greenland? True or not? For AMOC, do you want dense and cold water near Greenland? But if Greenland is melting, fresh water is coming. You recently heard rain in Greenland. So will it reduce the salinity? If the salinity is reduced, will the sinking reduce? If the sinking reduce, does the AMOC reduce? AMOC is slowing down. Get that? So Divyanshu is saying, sir, our diagram and that diagram is slightly different. They are saying, sir, this is coming north of this thing up south. Thank you for pointing out. Collect कर दे. अब now I will be cursed for this. यार वो दो में कट गया था ना, इसलिए दिखाई नहीं दिया. ट्रॉपिकल वाटर्स में रहेगा नहीं. Now people say, यार इनका मजा है, ये कुछ भी इरेज कर सकते हैं. I am the one who has to. देखो यार जलना बंद करो. Is it okay? So till tropical and temperate belt, we have warm water, and then that's there. Is everyone okay with this? So figure cut gaya tha. By mistake, I did not. I should have actually drawn the whole Pacific also in the right hand side. So Pacific 2 में कट जाने की वजह से this error happened. Is everyone okay? And thank you for pointing out the Divanshu. I'm sure AMOC तो याद रहेगा यार, तो बनाए अपने हाथ से बनाए. Drawn it and you will understand. And AMOC, do you understand why? Simple, very simple. You know why AMOC is reducing? You are adding fresh water over there. Get that? So what is it that you want? पूर्वी ये क्या बीच में अचानक tangent डाला है? You put a doubt. What do you want to know? हम क्या बात कर रहे हैं, क्या वो आप क्या लेकर आ गए? Everyone okay with this? अच्छा ये क्या है? TS diagram. Remember at the ocean bottom, I don't know how to find out the density. Yes, but I know where the water is moving. So I have the temperature graph over here. As I'm going down with the temperature reducing, I have the salinity graph over here. Example of a TS diagram for observation of depth at 150 meter to 5000 meter, 9 degrees south latitude in Atlantic Ocean. Dots represent individual seawater sample. तो हमने sample ले लिया. एक sample, this sample has been collected at different depths. Everyone, can you see that? So we have collected the sample. So this is the ocean bottom, and we are looking at temperature is falling down, and this thing. Okay. So what are these lines? These lines are your temperature lines. 29, 28, 28, 27. Yes. And then we have the salinity lines. Numbers indicate depth in 100 meter. Red boxes present are the major subsurface Atlantic water, Atlantic bottom water, North Atlantic deep water. So we have the water masses and we have taken their values. We have taken their temperature value, and we have taken their salinity value. Do we get that? Temperature and salinity. और इधर हमारे पास क्या आता जाता है? These are the density lines that we have created. What are these? These are the density lines we have created. So wherever we are taking a sample, that sample approximately will mathematically tells us what is the density over there. Not going too much into it, but as I told you, that this is an indirect way. Indirect way. I don't expect much to come in this. This is like I am explaining how log tables work. Remember logarithmic tables? You refer to them. But am I supposed to explain how a logarithmic calculation is done? That is not needed. So what they have done is a temperature axis. There is a salinity axis. Temperature and salinity gives us the density. So that is what we are having over here. Okay. At a specified latitude, in a specified location along the depths that is there. So please write down TS diagram. थोड़ा सा लिख लेते हैं. Maybe some of you may find it a little challenging to write on TS diagram. So please write down. Oceanographers, or what should I say? पहले लिखते हैं TS diagram. Don't write oceanographers. Deep sea physical parameters like density are measured through indirect methods, in bracket graphical methods, in bracket graphical method. Since density of a liquid or density of oceanic water is a function of temperature and salinity, oceanographers obtain samples of water at different depths. Samples of water at different depth. Ascertain the temperature and salinity. Device क्या है? Thermometer and what? Salinometer. Assess the temperature and salinity and plot a graph of the two. To indirectly determine the density. Graph of the two to indirectly determine the density. Is everyone with me on this? Since these values vary with depth, thus specific graphs called TS diagrams. TS diagrams are drawn for specific regions. Specific regions along specified latitude. A typical TS diagram looks like the graph as follows. Temperature, salinity, and what are these? Density lines. Get that? And this is the water sample or the water that we are talking of. These are the samples which we took of 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that? So this can be 24, 25, 26, 27. This can be 20, 15, 10, 5, 0 तो नहीं होगा 1, 10, 5, 1, something of that sort. ठीक है? Salinity क्या कर सकते हैं? 35 है, थोड़ा चेंज करेंगे salinity में 35.54 and 3. So 35, 34.5, 34, 33.5, 35.5, 36, 36.5. Is everyone okay? So this is how you are going to draw this. So what does density mean? ये 26 क्या density होती है? Well, say for example, density 1 is equal to 27. 27 means 1.026. ठीक है? 1.025. ये जो water की 1 होती है, salt वाली उससे more हो जाती है ना? It is 1.026. Do we get that? So वहाँ पर ये कैसे बनाना है? ये भी आपने देख लिया. These are constant density lines. These are salinity values. These are temperature values. And what do? You plot a sample. Did I plot a sample? North Atlantic, this thing, whatever is there, we can identify that also. So these are the values of the sample where we took. So we got the temperature and salinity, and indirectly we will measure the the density value that is derived out of it. Everyone with me on this? If you have a question, please ask. Are we done? Clear? Exam में लिख लेंगे. Coming back to the syllabus, आ जाएंगे. Heat budget भी कर लिया, TS diagram भी हो चुका है. So heat and salt budget done, along with this thermohaline circulation, AMOC, TS diagram. Not much on that. I just see it as a short note if at all it comes. It is more to do with a technical way of measuring the density indirectly. Tomorrow's class we'll talk about waves, the dynamic part, little bit of it. The landform part I've already done with you. I'll be talking about tides and coral reefs. That is what we are going to talk of in tomorrow's class. Everyone okay? Question क्या आया था? Yeah. Comment on marine heat budget. Can you comment it on? Comment on oceanic circulation. Can you comment on both surface and deep sea now? So the intention is we should be able to write and do the PYQs also. And can you see whatever I have taught you, all of it is not to be written in this answer. That's why I always say answers begin where the book stops. So आपको सब लिखना नहीं. If you comment on marine heat budget, very important. There is a long-term budget. Comment means your views. That after reading whatever Sachin has said, comment on this. Oh, I think it is very important. It is a subset of the global heat budget. Yes, it is. There is a constant heat exchange happening. Surface current as well as bottom current are there. Just like we have heat excess and heat deficit, this is the heat budget is there. It operates on the phenomena of assumption that all net heat in the ocean is constant. We have a mathematical listing also. What I am commenting is I am suggesting this also there, that this is evidence to prove. And my comment will also say if this heat budget is tampered with, which is happening today, we can see various problems in the oceanic circulation. Now let us come to oceanic circulation. Can I say marine heat budget is the goal? Oceanic is the means. Did I tell you this anywhere till now? I did not. But since I looked at this question, suddenly something in me told me, what is your comment? My comment is this is the ultimate goal which I desire, and circulation is the means. That's my comment. I did not think what will I say, but I say आया मेरे दिमाग में. Should such ideas come to your mind? And will I show how it is means? So I will show that global thermohaline circulation. I'll say in a conveyor belt like fashion, the heat is transferred and circulations are happening over turning circulation. And then I said in the current affairs, as we said, AMOC is getting compromised. वो भी मैं बताऊंगा. True. And then in my comment I'll say if the timely action is not taken, it is believed that Europe will become colder. Yes. So that is what I want to tell you. Is everyone okay? So with this, I would want to end the class, and I'll see you tomorrow. So thank you for being here, and on the Telegram group, you can continue our discussion. Happy Earth Day, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.